Okay, guys, let's get cracking then. Right, okay. So what is the fuss all about? Why Notion? Okay, so for me, Notion is kind of let me start sharing. Hello there, Michelle. Good to see you here. This is just some of the notes I put up. So basically, in a nutshell, what Notion is, it's one of these apps that has brought together several features from other apps that are out there. And it's kind of a cross where kind of beautiful design meets great engineering in terms of the back end and what you can do with it. Now, if you are currently using systems like Evernote, Asana, Trello, even Airtable, or other note-taking apps, then chances are that Notion will be able to do what you are doing in those apps. What I love most about Notion is that it is as close to kind of an all-in-one solution as you can currently get based on what's out there, based on my experience of what's out there, and based on the experience of many people kind of in the productivity space, in the systems thinking space, have kind of reviewed and concluded upon at this point in time. So we're all looking for that all-in-one solution, but don't get too excited because it's not quite an all-in-one solution for accountants to run workflow and practice management just yet. It can be, it just requires a lot of customization. I wouldn't be recommending Notion for you to actually, if you're looking for a practice management solution, because there are already solutions which have been developed that are out there, which are which are good products. And I've got a session coming on Thursday where you'll get to see 4 popular providers. If you're not already booked onto that, then save your space for that, where you'll get to see Center, AM, Pixie, and Onco in action in terms of actually managing an accountancy practices workflow. However, no one solution is perfect. And I'm sure you have gripes with the current software solution that you have. And if you do, let me know in the comments, what are your particular gripes? What are the, or not even necessarily gripes, what is there that you find that is not a default built-in function or feature within the practice management solution that you are using that you are having to find another place to put things? Okay, so what are those? Give me some examples of things where you find the off-the-shelf package, be it Center, be it Accountancy Manager, be it Onco, be it Pixie, be it Carbon, whatever it is that you're using, be it your spreadsheets. What is it not doing that you would love it to do? Let me know in the comments, and as I go through them, then potentially I can, give an opinion or comment on whether Notion can fill that gap for you if it's not already being met by your current provider. So if anyone has any examples, that would be great. I've got some to share as well, because we have a practice management solution for the practice. It does most things, it does a lot of things well, but there are always gaps in every solution. There is no one perfect solution out there, I'm afraid. They're all trying their hardest, but if you read some of the feedback that I got on LinkedIn from the post I put out promoting the event, some people have said that there is no one perfect solution, not in quite so diplomatic words that I have used just now. So give me some examples of things that your practice management solution is missing. I would love to hear. So Rennie is using Onvio as a document management system for clients. Oh, okay, including online signing, knowledge and systems manuals, and potential clients' document management systems. Okay, interesting, Rennie. Document systems and procedures from Graham. Hello there, Bev. Good to see you here. Finding documents info is more time consuming than it should be. Absolutely. That's from Marianne, comment from Marianne coming in. Okay, well, maybe Notion can kind of help to fill that gap. It's not ideal that we have to use multiple systems, but it's just something that perhaps we have to get used to, and we've got to put the stuff somewhere. We've got to actually have a place for those things. And if it's not, there isn't an actual place for it within the practice management solution that we have, then we have to look elsewhere, which is why no doubt some of you are using Trello, Asana, Airtable. Actually, I'd love to know if you are using another app, a cloud-based app like Trello, like Evernote, like Asana, like ClickUp, like Monday.com, anything for task management, project management. Let me know in the comments if you are using an app like that for whatever the use case may be. And if you are, I would love to know what What is your use case for those things? Is it to perhaps manage your marketing, your social media planning, your content planning? Is it just a storage place for your notes, how you categorize things? Is it something that you use to collaborate with, your team or external freelancers that you might use? I'd be interested to know. Let me know in the comments who's using what. So Ellie's saying she's using Asana at the moment. Interesting, Ellie. What are you using Asana for? I'd love to know. Do you also have a practice management solution, or is that essentially your practice management solution that you're using? Sorry, I'm not showing that. We use Slack. Yep, absolutely. We use Slack as well. Client communication. Okay, interesting. From Andrew Price, does Notion do this? Yeah, I'll be going through the differences between Slack and Notion, how we use Slack in the practice, but you also use Notion. Slack is great for kind of real-time collaboration, but Slack can get messy. But like WhatsApp can get messy with all the chat going into one place. Notion can keep things a little bit tidier and still allow that communication on certain tasks and projects at the same time. So who's that currently using? Accountancy Manager. I think that was Tim. And entering systems and procedures in the resources system, but not easy to find a system. Okay. A Facebook user saying use Airtable. Who's that? Julian. Okay. Got a live feed to company's house set up through API too. It's slow flexible. Okay. Yeah, Airtable is very good. And I think Airtable probably missed the trick because it's probably more powerful than Notion when it comes to databases. But I think Notion kind of got their positioning and their marketing right. And so it's really taken off. And Airtable has kind of been left behind as it's still a very good solution, a bespoke solution, more for enterprise users, whereas Notion has kind of reached out to your kind of everyday, one person businesses, smaller businesses, productivity type gurus who would then recommend Notion to the world, and therefore it's got a lot more traction than perhaps Airtable has when, in terms of merit-wise, it is a good product from what I've heard. Another Facebook user saying accountancy manager. I think that was Salim. Okay, Reddy saying we're using Trello for project management because Onvio project management is poor. Good. Okay, so that's good to hear because Notion does have a solution for that. Someone else is using Trello. That's Bev. Okay, interesting, Bev. I know you're starting to use Notion now as well. I think we can get you across to Notion for everything, including what you use Trello for. So Bev, tell me what you use Trello for. Would love to hear. Again, Manaf, I think that is using AM and Trello. So just a quick reminder, if you don't mind, it saves me looking from two screens and wasting time. If you are on Facebook and you haven't accepted the StreamYard link, just put your name before you put a comment in so I can call you out. Roz is saying she uses Trello for admin, Charlie HR for staff and teams, staff collab by client, talent, LMS. A lot of system software is going on there, Roz. Okay. Ideal. I think we'd like to see a visual database where the jobs can be allocated to practice members with the deadlines, any progress notes, a notification if the task is overrun. Also, where can we allocate the workload against hours available during the day and switch tasks depending on the leakage or priority or move to the following day. Okay, interesting. For limited company year ends, Trello, Bev is using it. Oh, surprising. How come you're not using Center for that, Bev? Okay, well, let's get into it. I think I've got a good feel as to, who is here, what you're after, what your main problems and pain points are, where are the holes in the systems that you have at the moment, which are forcing you to look at other options to fill those gaps. So what I'm going to do first is just to give you okay, this is kind of an overview. What we're going to try and cover today. We've got about an hour and I'll be happy to take questions. I don't want this to be overwhelming because anytime you get introduced to new software, it can be overwhelming to the point where you think, oh my God, that's just way too much. I can never create all of that. It's going to take me so much time to do that. So I'm going to try and keep it simple and just give you 3 key takeaways, 3 things to do, which I will go through with you on screen so you can see how I'm doing it, see how easy it is, and then you can start going away to actually start using Notion because its main benefit and downside is the same, which is that it's hugely customizable, which is its greatest strength and also its greatest weakness because it's hugely customizable. You can kind of create whatever you want. You could create your own practice management solution if you wanted to. If you were an ultra power user of it and really understood the formulas and the capabilities of the databases, you could do that. By the same token, because it is pretty much a blank canvas, that is also its greatest weakness, that you just don't know where to start. So hopefully I'm going to give you some pointers in terms of how to start the use cases so you can go away, start to use it, start to develop it out. And over time, you'll get more confident. You'll start to then pick up ideas. You'll start to consume the YouTube tutorials, just like I have for the last 6 months, consumed dozens and dozens of hours of YouTube tutorials to get my head around this thing. And really, it can transform your life. And I mean that, because what it's enabled me to do. So I'm going to give you a very quick overview now in terms of how I use it. So if you can see my screen, right? It may be a little bit small. Can you see my screen? I think you can. Yeah, it's not appearing on my YouTube dashboard yet. Oh, there we are. Yep, you can see it. There's just a little bit of a lag on the YouTube dashboard. Okay, so this is kind of my dashboard. Okay, so what it allows me to do, this Notion basically, I would say, saves me the cost of a full-time admin assistant. It allows me to run 3 businesses off this one platform by giving me access to the things that I need to see and do and delegate and monitor and store all in one place. And that is hugely beneficial for me when trying to manage all the things that I have to keep an eye on, all the things that I need to make sure that all these businesses are functioning and that we are making progress on each and every project that we have going on. So what I'm going to show you is not necessarily limited to the accounting firm, because this is mainly the coaching and mentoring business that I run is solely run through Notion. So it allows me to run kind of a part-time business, a part-time 6-figure business that I use with just myself and, say, a marketing assistant plus a few freelancers plus a little bit of help from a couple of members in my team on the accountancy practice to run this business entirely through Notion. That's how powerful it is to kind of allow me the space, the second brain, as it were, to be able to build it out so as to monitor everything that's going on, to make sure that the projects are all in one place, that I can collaborate, that things don't get forgotten, the deadlines are met. And let me just go in and show you how I use it to give you a feel. Okay, so this is kind of my dashboard. And the first thing you see here is kind of my areas. Okay, so again, this is outside the scope of this session. So some of this may not make sense to you, because the first thing you really need to do is, before actually designing a system, you need to know what your system is. Most people don't have a handle on what their system is, and therefore they just have one big long to-do list to run their life, which is why you find that sometimes you don't make the progress that you need to, that you don't actually further the projects perhaps that are on your bucket list that you want to do, because you don't really have a way of managing that, because they are consisting of a series of lots of tasks towards an ultimate aim. So say, for example, you want to learn a new language, say you want to write a book, say you want to build a second business. These are all ideas and projects that you have going on in your head, but you don't actually have a space where you can start to kind of build out the foundations, the building blocks of what is required to get those projects off the ground, to ultimately help you achieve what you want to, the things that you want to achieve in life. So that is kind of outside the scope. And if you remember on the mentoring program, I am going to go through a session in a couple of months' time about building your second brain and to supercharge your productivity, and how to kind of structure everything in your life so that there is a place for it and you know exactly what your core focus is. And I use a model, a mixture of a GTD model, which is Getting Things Done by David Allen, and a PARA model by a chap called Tiago Forte, which basically summarizes everything in your life into 4 key areas: projects, areas, resources, and archive. So we should all have kind of areas in our life and projects that you want to work on, and a space for those projects, so you can then build out the individual tasks that are required to further those projects. So, okay, probably get carried away in this. Let me just give you a quick run through. So this is my dashboard. These are all the areas that I have going on. So there's like a marketing area. I have my online training. I have my mastermind programs, a couple of groups. I have the mentoring program. I have all the podcasts and events that I run. I have my YouTube channel. I have the admin section of, all the how-tos, the systems, a members page, which is shared with members of the program, a public page, and a database page. So this is kind of where I go in, and I will introduce you to databases because that is really transformational. And this is feeding off a database, which if I just click on this, this is going to overwhelm you. This is like, wow. So this is everything, all the events, all the kind of podcasts that I have run in the last, say, 12 months. Okay. So it enables me, project by project, to put things into this one database. But I don't need to see stuff that I've done before. What I need to see on my dashboard is things that are happening from now into the future. So what I've simply done is create a dashboard to say, show me all my events, all the kind of events, projects, whatever you want to call them, that are happening in the next month. So it focuses my mind to say, right, okay, when I go into this, I know I've got these 4 projects coming up. So I've got the Notion deep dive was on here. That's now disappeared because that's happening now. The practice management is happening in a couple of days. Then I've got a podcast with Jeffrey. Then I've got the 4 Pillars Masterclass I'm running on the July 6th. And I've scheduled a session with Jodie Thompson, the author of Work Sucks, on July the 7th. So those things are coming up in the next month, which means I need to make sure that we are doing what we need to in each of these projects. Now, the beauty about Notion is its collaboration feature. So what I love about this is that within each project, you have like a comment section, and you can collaborate through the comment section by just at someone. Now, this is the question about Slack or Notion. So the difference between Slack and Notion is that you can have projects or even individual tasks, and you can collaborate on those tasks within that task or project itself. The downside of Slack is that it can get messy, things get lost. You can't actually lay out stuff like this. So for this, what I would do is I can keep all my notes in one place. So when I'm planning this project out, I have an objective. I can easily create this. What do we need to do? What's the promotion? What are the emails that needs to go out? What are the reminder emails? What are the social posts? And everything can be done and dumped all in one place. So it's all kept together, and then I can collaborate with my team on what needs to be done. The actual properties in terms of the database that drives this. So every event just needs to have a date, which is pretty clear, a status. So I created these statuses to say, well, for me, events go from an idea to they go from scheduled, and then they go to recorded, and then podcast uploaded. They're kind of the stages of my event. You have a cover image, which is how I get the image to then appear onto the front page. Again, similar thing here. So this is the next mentoring session that I've got coming up. So it focuses me on that's what I've got coming up. I need to make sure that I plan that out and start creating the content for that particular session. Again, this is just a filtered view that comes from a bigger database of a lot of stuff going on, which, as you can see in different ways. You can see in different views, and that is one of the other powerful features of Notion is the ability to filter by different views, so see things in different ways. Okay, so if we go back to my dashboard, again, I've got a task database, and I'll show you how to create your own task database. But as you can see, there is again, the ability to collaborate on individual tasks even. So this is a particular tasks, and then within it, this is the tax return challenge. So I can then quickly, this is the task I need to do, and I can quickly then go in and put in some actions for the team in the comment section, and everything that we need to, we can keep all within one place. So this is all the things that we need to do. These are all the actions, and you can see here the formatting features of Notion are pretty good. and limited to just certain things, so you don't get overwhelmed like potentially you would in say a Word doc or a Google Doc, for example. Okay, so that's all well and good, but how is this relevant for my accountancy firm, I hear you say? Okay, so let's now give you a taste of what that looks like. Okay, so that was kind of an overview in terms of my dashboard, how I run the coaching and mentoring business, which is solely dealt with in Notion. In terms of the practice, and this is where the use cases start to appear in terms of how you can potentially use it. So there were some comments and questions that came into the chat box in terms of, yeah, we'd love a place to put our systems and processes. Good. Because that is the one, that is an easy use case that you can start with. So at the moment, you probably have processes. If you don't have a space for them in your practice management solution, then you probably have Word documents or Google documents saved in files or folders that you have to access, which is, pretty clunky. Let's face it, they probably get lost in the folder structure. They rarely get referenced. They rarely get updated because there's too much friction involved in accessing those documents. But we know that processes are highly important. We want people to always be updating our processes all the time because it's fundamental to be able to continue to deliver that consistent level of service, and to get to a point where we let the systems and the processes do the heavy lifting so we don't have to, and we can take a step back and we can allow our team to run the practice instead of us having to be there all the time. So here's an overview of how we use it for the practice. So we just created a dashboard for the practice and used it as kind of so just think of it as a portal, as a gateway into the things that you do, and a place to store your processes. Now, I'll go into some of these and show you in particular, but as you can see here, this is to give, if somebody new came into your firm, where would be the first place they go? Do you have a new starter pack? You may have a new starter pack, which might consist of perhaps an email and a Google Doc, which they have to go and read, maybe, even a couple of videos if you're that advanced. The good thing about Notion is that you can kind of centralize all of this information, internal information, into one place. So the way I'd maybe describe this particular feature of it, or this use case, is it's like your virtual dashboard, your virtual notice board. So you want someone new coming into your firm, or even for your existing team members, to quickly be able to look at a notice board and know exactly what to go to for what when it comes to anything internal. So, for example, these are all things which you've probably worked on, but, they're tucked away in some Word doc somewhere which nobody ever reads. Whereas if you've actually taken the time to write out your vision, mission, and core values, for example, having it on a Notion, having it in front of a key kind of, a dashboard, a notice board, or whatever you want to call it, means it's more likely to kind of get used, to be updated, to continuously be front of mind for you to perhaps, if you haven't done it, but you want to do it, put it as a placeholder, and it will remind you that, oh yes, I need to kind of build out this particular page. So as you can see here, this is basically a quick reference. So you can quickly do like a table of contents within Notion, literally just /TOC, table of contents, and it creates this table of contents for you, which allows you to click through and go down to whichever section it is. So as you can see here, we've just written out our vision, our mission, our core values and standards. Again, a great thing about Notion is its ability to bring in to copy and paste things very easily. It's just a pleasure kind of copying and pasting and embedding like a YouTube video. Literally, it's a one click. You share the YouTube video and it just comes up like this. There's no, how in Word or Google Docs, there's so much faffing around with formatting and resizing and all that kind of stuff that it's just painstaking trying to write up a process which includes different media types other than text. So that is one of the main benefits of Notion, that you can bring in images. They come in and you can kind of resize them at will, just like that. So easy to do. Again, with the YouTube videos, again, your mixture of text and images. Its formatting is limited, but that is the beauty of it, that you, in terms of, when you're writing a Google Doc or a Word doc, there's so many fonts to choose from and so many different formatting suggestions, that you have that analysis paralysis. There's too much choice. So Notion makes it really easy and offers you very simple types for formatting. So literally it offers you 3 heading types, offers you a text type, it offers you the ability to do a to-do, like a to-do list checkbox, a bullet list, a numbered list, a toggle list, which I love, the ability to create code, a quote, a call out, or a block equation like that. So when you want to hide, you don't want kind of just long streams of text, putting a call out in like this, very easy to do, literally enter and it does it for you, or shortcut, it's that symbol there, space, and you've suddenly got a toggle. Hyphen, space, and it turns into a bullet list. A number, dot, and it turns into a number. So as you can see, very easy to start, editing a document within a page within Notion itself. So that's kind of one use case for it. So just kind of going through these areas. What else have we got here? We've put our kind of company goals in here, what we want to achieve. So again, it's visible to everyone in terms of what our objectives are, what our key results are. Another use case is a team directory. So just having a place where kind of you've got everyone visually seen, and you can kind of keep all the information that you need to. And I'm sharing just my personal stuff here, not anybody else's. So I don't mind that. But just all in one place. So as you can see, numbers, addresses, that kind of stuff, which otherwise might be tucked away somewhere, which is hard to access. So these are just potential use case scenarios for you. Again, this is anything to do with a team. We kind of put all in one place, so it's easily accessible. One of my main kind of recommendations is that anything you do, you want to be able to have it easily accessible, and for people not to have to go through more than 2 layers to find something. And that is the beauty about Notion, because it's nicely visually appealing, and the amount that you can get on a page, you don't have to go down more than 2 layers to find something, because I've got all this space to categorize all these things in such a way that I can access what I need within 1 or 2 clicks. The problem that we have, if you're housing your processes, say in a Google Drive or in your folder structure within Windows, it quickly becomes overwhelming. People create folders within folders, and then things get lost, and you can never retrieve things and take too long to find things. So try and not to have more than 2 layers to find something, because chances are if you do, then things never get found, or they get filed in the wrong place. So that is why, again, another bonus and benefit of using Notion, that literally within 1 click, you can get to what you want to get to. So what else? So new starter information. So now if, for example, if somebody joins, again, they have a reference point. We send this to them and say, look, have a look around Notion. These are all the things you need to do. So again, I'm sure you have this in terms of a process written up. Perhaps it's not written up in such a format because you were limited to writing it up within a Google Doc or in a Word doc. So Notion just allows you that ability to be more flexible in terms of how you display things, to have links again from here to other things within the space. So this is kind of the software we use, and how to download Slack and what to have access to, and you can backlink that and link it to other things within your page. So highly customizable for that sort of thing. So again, new starter information, just to give you some ideas as to what to do and how to use it. We put our targets in there as well. So at the moment, you can't do charts within Notion, but what you can do is use a third-party app called Notion Charts to bring in charts into your Notion space. So we do that through a Google Sheet, but that is another potential example for you. What else do we have that I can show you? So, okay, if you're ready, because the time is already going and I've only just scratched the surface. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can create your own page. So maybe you're thinking, this is all well and good, but where do I start? Okay, well, let's do that. Are there any questions? So feel free to still put questions into the comments section, and I will take them when I can. So if I could just go into you, if you've got a Notion account, and feel free to go into your Notion now and have that in front of you whilst you're listening to this, you probably just have like a getting started page like this, and that's what you'll probably see. Okay, and there's a few tutorials on there which you might want to watch just to get to grips with what it's about and how to start. But if you want to create what I've just shown you, the best thing to do is just click on that plus icon, and that will add a page within your workspace, and you'll get a page just like this. And then what we'll do is, so if I just go to one which I made earlier, so if I get rid of that one, and again, I go to the one I made earlier, which was, where was it? Notion session notes. It was in my demo page, wasn't it? Okay, so here's a demo page, and I'm going to show you how to make a little table like this for, say, your task management, and how to do that, create that page that I showed you for the dashboard. Okay, so first thing is when you have, okay, let's just do it from an empty page, just in case you're wondering how on earth do I do this. Okay, so all I'm doing here is just saying test dashboard, and you would put whatever you want on there based on your firm name. You can see here it gives you options to customize this. And this is the beauty about Notion, that it does look nice and pretty and beautiful, which, which is a good thing, because when things are aesthetically pleasing, you're more likely to engage with it. One of the reasons why Zero has done so well is because it is aesthetically pleasing. It's nice to look at. It feels good when you're in there. It doesn't look like MS-DOS and just text on a screen editor. It looks nice, it feels nice, and when something is designed like that, you're naturally more inclined to want to use it. So again, that's what Notion has kind of gone for, to make things look pretty and give you the ability to customize that very easily. So here, okay, it's giving me an option to do a little ski shoe. You can change that very, very easily. Just click on the icon, and then you can change it to whatever you like. You can add a cover very easily. So again, it just gives you the option to add a color. I can change that color to whatever I want it to. I can have a plain color, or I can upload my own. I can go to choose image, and I can quickly go to, hopefully I can find what I am looking for, because I do not like these folder structures in Windows either. So hopefully it's in the right place. Cover photos and banners, Notion, and let's add a cover. So there we go. I've now added that cover. Easy as that. And that has now put that cover on for me. So now we have our cover set up. So what we want to do now is simply just start typing in the page. Okay. So what headings did I have? I had about our firm. So the easiest way to do a big heading is just to access any function within Notion. You can do the / button, or simply click on the 6 dots there, and it will give you the same options to turn into whatever format you want it to. So for example, I want to go for a heading 1 / H1 is the shortcut, about our firm. Okay, that's my kind of my main heading. The other heading I had was I think our team, was it? Our team. Okay. Now this is, again, how do you get columns? So this is, again, another one of those features which I love about Notion, the ability to just move things and create columns, because it's not something you can easily do within a Google Doc or a Word doc, and it helps you to categorize your things nicely amongst the page. So simply what I do, and if you're doing this, then hover over the 6 dots, move it to the right of the first line that you did, and let go. And that will then create you 2 columns, which means you can now, when you start writing in here, you will have the ability to write under that column, and you'll have the ability to write under this column as well. It says. What happened there? Okay, so let's just do that again. I can put that here, and then I can write under that column as well. I think something is not quite right there. Typical to happen on a demo. I think I know what's happened. I've created 3 columns. So what I want to do is do that again. So I want to see the little blue line come up. Where's the blue line? Where's the blue line? I think it's already done it. You know what? Let's just do that again. Yeah, I know what it's done. It's got that block there. So if I just delete that block, it is really easy to do, I promise. H1, our team. Okay, so it should be as simple as go over here, create this, and drop it. Okay, now I can start typing in these sections. Okay, so here what you want to do is, let's say you wanted to write about your vision, mission, and core values. So that gets done in a separate page. And the way do you create a page? Again, / click on the page, and you enter in a new page. Okay, so what that means, and if you look at these headings up here, that shows you that this is a page within the main page. So here I would say, okay, this is my vision, mission, and core values. And again, you can then start typing away here. What is your vision? What is your mission? What are your core values? Embed any videos that you would like, embed any text. Again, I can start writing. I can start writing with the heading 1. This is my vision. I can then say, okay, these are the bullet points of my vision. And then I can have another heading 1 for mission. Perhaps there I want to have it as a call out because I want that to be shown. So, our mission is to save the world. So again, nice bit of formatting, just save there like that. Core values. Then heading 1, I want those as numbered. So I just do a 1 dot and it starts creating a numbered list. Be good. Da, 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 da. Okay, very easily. And if I wanted to embed something, so say for example, I wanted to embed a YouTube video, then I would simply just go to YouTube, and I'll show you how. Just do 1 just to show you how easy it is. Let me see what it gives you. Oh, it's giving me the ability to watch my own. So if I just simply just go to share, copy the link. So I've copied a link now, and all I'm doing is I press Ctrl V to paste, create embed. And what happens is it should now give me a thumbnail for that video. There you go, nicely embedded in there. I can resize that at my leisure. So as you can see, it's very easy to build out these pages within your space. So again, if you want to spruce it up, then you can just add a little emoji thing in there. And again, that's how easy it is to set up this page. So again, if I wanted to add a third column, so say for example, I wanted to add systems as a third column, then again, I can just bring that out, put that next to there, and I can start putting all the systems that I want in there. But maybe I want to leave that separate and start to build out those systems within that section. Okay. Right. Okay. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of a steer. I guess, the best thing to do is to kind of just go in and start doing it. If you've got any specific questions, so as you can see, what I've done is, and again, if you're wondering, how do I do, again, the formatting of this is very straightforward. So you're not given that many options, which means that it's very easy to customize. So once you've done your 2 columns, if I want to change that to give it a background, I just go to color, and then you can choose a background color here, which is what gives you the yellow background on that. Okay, so very, very easy to do. So that's kind of 2 columns in here. Here we've just got the 1 column. but then we've created 3 columns underneath to have all the tasks related to reception. So really at the moment, for the practice, one of the biggest use cases is the ability to write up all those internal processes, all those little things which there isn't really a place for it anywhere else, that you're perhaps putting on a Google Doc or perhaps just all sitting in your head. This is a nice place to kind of start to use our Notion to start to build it out. So again, it's just organized in a way that makes it easy for people to access within 2 clicks, allows you a space to start to write out your processes. So you know that you want to systemize your practice. You've all read the E-Myth. You know how important it is to build those systems and processes. And a software like this gives you the ability to do that at speed, in a visually appealing manner, in a way that is really easy just to write, whether you're on your laptop or on your computer or on your phone, to update for your team to look at. It just makes the whole thing so much easier. So simple things like, how to frank the post. So, we've got all these things here, which you thought, oh, do you need all those things? Well, actually, it's really handy because this is the place. If our usual, admin person is not around, then someone can go in here and they know how to send out my property books, for example. If we get an order for my property book, then what do people do? Rather than me having to explain the process every single time, we've written it out. So, well, Karen's written it out. And she's actually said, well, this is exactly what you do. Everyone gets a handwritten card. Apologies if you've received one. I thought it was for me. Obviously, it was for me, but, I like to systemize and make process of things to reduce the stuff I have to do. So the book goes out with a thank you card, and this is what the thank you card should say. It should be handwritten. It should sign off in my name. I've done it once and now created a process for somebody else to do it, so I don't have to, and then it can just run without me. So exactly in terms of, I'm very particular, which is why I like to kind of go through the process myself and then advise someone else to do it and then get them to write it up. So we know there is consistency and everything gets done. Put it in the envelope, use the right card, and then take it all the way to the post office. There's even a little map. I didn't even know this was there. So someone's even put a little map to show which post box they need to put that frank letter in on the Eastleigh High Street. So thank you, Karen, for doing that. But again, you can see that Google Map embed would have been a very easy location, embed the Google Map into it. Again, things like, my calendar links. So if we have a client call or prospect call, people know exactly where they can get my Calendly links from. It's all there. It's all accessible. So what I would encourage you to do is to have a session with your team, or if you know what are the things that your team are always kind of find it difficult to find, things that they would love to have access to at their fingertips, and start to use Notion as your hub to write out those processes. So access to helplines, technical resources, phone numbers for HMRC, all that kind of stuff. Finicky little processes like how to get email on your smartphone. Normally it's the case someone starts, okay, they've set up their email, they now want to get email on their phone, they don't know how to do it. We've got a process for it. Go into Notion, there'll be something there in terms of, domain settings, all that kind of stuff that you need to be able to set up your email on your phone. Storage and folder structures. So again, how do you save everything? Does your team know where everything is saved? This is a flowchart of how, again, this is kind of a link from Miro. But again, this is kind of an overview. It's probably not terribly easy to see. We do need to tidy it up. But again, it's kind of a folder structure that you can go in to say, okay, well, fine, I'm looking for something, I don't know where it is. I can quickly see, okay, what does the folder structure look like? What should it be? And if I want to save something, then where do I need to save it? So this is kind of a visual depiction, representation of our folder structure within sort of virtual cabinet, within our SharePoint and our internal server drive. So again, another potential use case scenario if you're not using it for that already. This is a good one. We operate a results-only work environment. How does that work? So for a new starter, again, I've had many discussions with the team since we operated to an environment where only the results matter. It's a results-only work environment. People can work when, where, and how they want. we implemented back in 2017. There's many discussions, there's many sessions that I've had with the team in terms of, how we get done, what results mean, what they can do, what does it mean for them now, what is the philosophy behind it. What I don't want to do is have to repeat that to every single new team member that joins. So document it once, and then it's there in perpetuity. New member joins, they get directed to it. They can now consume everything which you have taken time to impart to your team over years, potentially. So I had a few videos, well, maybe only one video, but a summary and a links to further guides as to what the results only work environment is all about and how it works. Okay, it's already 10 to 3. My God, how time flies when you're having fun. Okay, any questions? Let me know. Let me show you how to do a quick task database, and then hopefully that will give you enough to keep going. So any questions coming through? Happy to answer. So do you use this instead or as well as practice management software? Yeah, so you probably missed the beginning. No, we use this as well as a practice management software. So although it is highly customizable, it's not a solution, a bespoke solution for accountants. It's not built for accountants. It's built for anyone to use to customize how they want. So there are downsides of that because there's no automatic links, there's no automatic recurring of events like VAT returns, like payroll, which practice management solution softwares have already built in. So unless you are a power user, you understand a little bit of programming and code and are willing to invest a hell of a lot of time to build out a customizable practice management solution, I wouldn't recommend it for that at this stage. So stick with the tried and tested ones for now. Can you use Excel within Notion? Notion is kind of a replacement for Excel. See, and I'll talk about this when I touch on databases. It's often the case is that we use Excel for a purpose that it wasn't intended for. We use Excel for a database, and we use it to kind of put text in, and Excel isn't designed to act as a database or act as a repository of information by text. Excel is designed for calculations, for numbers, and that sort of thing. But because Microsoft's database solution was so poor and so hard to grasp, Microsoft Access, we all grew up not really using it or understanding it, and therefore everyone defaulted to using Excel as their main hub, as their main software for everything from spreadsheets, accounting work, calculations, and also for storing data, CRM, that sort of thing. But it wasn't designed for that. And that's where I think Notion comes in, that you can actually build and have a space for things that you are using Excel for that doesn't require manipulation of numbers. Okay, so if you are, and I'm sure you are, think of a use case scenario that you're using Excel for, a client list maybe. So let me know in the comments if you are using Excel for a purpose that doesn't include lots of calculations. So it might be, you're keeping track of the clients that you've won, perhaps. You're keeping a track of maybe some, ad hoc projects that you've got going on. Maybe you're keeping, a separate client list in there, even though you've got a PM solution. Things like that are more database, Excel isn't designed to handle, okay? And that is something that Notion can absolutely do. Azam is asking, how long using this and who set this up for you? I've probably been using this for now, maybe 6-7 months, possibly, maybe a little bit more than that. But again, I started from scratch and started to set it up myself, watched a lot of YouTube tutorials and engaged a Notion consultant as well, just to help me with the finer things and actually piecing it all together and understanding how the databases work and having getting the databases streamlined so everything basically feeds off the databases, which are my central sources of truth. Hello, Ahmed from Birmingham. Can you restrict access to certain pages within Notion? Absolutely, yes, you can. So you are on the mentoring program. So you have on the mastermind program, you have your own page. So that is restricted just to you. There is a page which is then restricted to everyone in the mastermind group. There are pages which are just for all the mentoring members, but you can't see all my pages. So I've got everything in the same space and same dashboard. You can't see them, so you can absolutely restrict pages. It is amazing, Bev. Which version of Notion are you using? You're always using the up-to-date version, Keith. It's a cloud-based product. So when you log in, whatever the latest version is, that's the one that everyone is using. Is it good for keeping your pipeline? Yes, Ian, absolutely. So if you're using a spreadsheet for that, Notion is way better. What are the 4 areas of your brain you split into? Projects, so it's projects, areas, resources, and archive. Okay, let's hide that. Okay, so let me just show you how to quickly do a task database. Where did I have this set up for you already? I think it was in here. It was in my demo page, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do a quick task database just like that. So go into your new page. I'm just going to get rid of all this. Okay. And simply what we do, so imagine this is, I've just got this table here just for my reference, so I know which columns to put in. But you would have a blank page, so you can call that your, up here, you can say, it's your tasks. You can call it your tasks page. Task dashboard, task database, whatever you want to call it. What we're going to do is we're going to create a table. A table is a database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do / and I'm going to start typing table. And what I want is the inline table on this page. Okay, so this is going to be my call it test tasks. We're doing test task 2. Okay, so it sets me up with a small table like this. So what I'm going to do now is start to create the columns, the properties. So Notion refers to columns or anything which is going to have data in it as a property. So if you hear me saying property, it's the same as, say, your column heading if you are used to spreadsheet, Excel terminology. So here I'm going to say, so the name is really the task. Okay, this is what I need to do. That I would just rename as task and press enter. Here, I'm going to rename this to, in every task database, we need to know whether it's done or not. So I'm going to change that to done. And here is where the beauty comes in with databases. Under property type, you have the ability to select from all of these different types of potential of properties in which you can enter specific data in a format that is relevant for what you want in there. So this is a checkbox. Okay, so basically if something is done, then all you want to do is have the ability to be able to check it off. So that gives me the ability to create that very easily. The second thing I want in a task database is a due date, right? So every task should have a due date. So I'm just going to change that column name to due date. And under property type this time, I want a date property. So this means that it's a date property, which means that when I go in there, I have a calendar come up, which allows me to pick a date. So I'm going to pick a date there by card for month. Okay, for argument's sake, due date June 16th. I now want to create a property which gives me an idea as to its priority level, if you wanted to. If you can have a priority level, you can have an energy level. Now, this is only going to be one of 2 things. So what I want here is a select property. Now, a select property, it means that I can create a tag, however many tags that I want, but that column will only allow me to choose one of those properties. And clearly, when it comes to priority, it can either be one or the other. Okay, so for example, it will either be high, or I go in and create another one called medium. I don't want anything low priority because chances are something low priority will never get done. So it's either going to be high or medium. The other thing I want in there now is person. So I said before that collaboration is great, and it means that I I can delegate tasks to other people, and I can tag them with it, which means they get an alert. They can see the same task database in their space because we're sharing the same database. They can filter it out for just their tasks that have been assigned to them. So I want a select a person property now. So under property type, I collect person. And what that will do is it will then give me the ability to select anyone that is attached to any of my pages. So I want to delegate this out to Karen, which means I will put her name there. Karen, buy card for mum. Now, this is where the tasks can get really, the databases, this is kind of an advanced feature. But let's say, for example, you were setting this up and you wanted to link it to your clients, or you wanted to link it to one of your areas or one of your projects. Now, this is where Notion comes into its own. And what you can do is you can relate things to other databases, which means, and I'll show you an example of this, that I can relate this task to one of the areas of my life that I've set up, or one of the areas of my business. What we're doing here is we are choosing in the advanced section a relation property. And when I do that, it's asking me which database do you want it to come from. So for example, I will say, right, okay, this would be, relate this to my client's database, okay? Client database, that one there. If I create that relation, okay, so actually, for argument's sake, let's say that was something to do with the client. And what this has now done is when I now click on this cell, my whole list of clients come up. Well, I better hide that because it's got client data in there. But if I just quickly go on there and just search for me, hopefully you shouldn't see anything else. Okay, you can just see me. So I'm a client for the practice. I started typing my name and it came up, which means now I can relate this particular task to this client, which means that correspondingly, when I go to the client database, I can see all the tasks related to that client. So as you can see, there are so many potential, potential use cases of really making Notion work for you. So let me just show you how this works in reality, because we only got one Notion there. So in reality, how does it work? If I go to my task database, which is fairly heavy at the moment, but as you can see, again, another beauty of Notion databases is the filters. So when you have a database, you can then filter it for the stuff that just you want to see, which is really easy to do. And this is what databases were built for, but we never really had a database software that was user-friendly to work with. So what I want to do is I want to see in this task database, I don't want to see stuff that I've already done. So if I've ticked it off, right, then I don't want to see it. So just show me. It's very easy to set up. I can add a filter and I say, right, where done. So if the done checkbox is unticked, then I want to see it, which means that if it's ticked, I don't want to see it. And where the person is me. So there are many, we all use the same database, which means that we all have access to this same database. So we can share, easily collaborate, delegate out. But I don't need to see everything that's on someone else's to-do list. They just see that. So it will just show me stuff that's on my to-do list. And I could change that if I wanted to then say, okay, well, fine, I want to, in my dashboard, I want to keep an eye on what Karen has got going on. I can create a separate view and say all tasks that are held by Karen, and it will then just show me that particular view. So many potential permutations and combinations to do. So for example, once you just check this, it just disappears. We haven't done that, so I'm going to undo and it comes back. But that's how kind of tasks work. Another use case here is how I plan out my content planning. So again, if you are using Trello, if you have any workflow that starts from one step to another step, then Notion can do this for you as well. So again, this is what I use to develop all my videos. They go from an idea, they go to an unedited stage, then it's reviewed by me prior to putting the captions on, then it's ready for copy, then it's final, ready for me to check, and then it's ready for posting. So I manage my whole content production process through this one board. It allows me to record a video, to then put the video into a link here. Then we have, again, another great feature is the ability to add a template in. So what I can do, for example, is if I'm creating a new video, right? So if I'm creating a Notion video, right? I've just created that as an idea. Let's say I've recorded it. I've put the video link in there. You can create templates, which means with one click, it now populates that whole page for me. And what this does is it prompts me to put in all the data that I need on this particular post that we need for each and every video. So we know for each and every video requires a title. It requires a transcript. And this helps my team as well. So they know what they need to put in order to take this video from idea, from me recording it, and then handing it over for everything else to be done before it comes back to me to then confirm before it gets posted, okay? So we write out the whole process in the place where the process should sit, so everyone has access to it. So again, these are stuff that, again, I use these toggles to say, well, I'm using different freelancers, copywriters sometimes. The LinkedIn copy pointers that I know that they may not know, I have then created a space in here. So when they're writing copy for post on LinkedIn, all this, rather than me having to explain everything that I know about LinkedIn again to the freelancer I'm using, I've just put it under this section here so they will see it. We have kind of placeholders for everything that we need to do for each video, and then it goes through all the various stages. Again, this can be seen in different ways, so I can have it as a calendar view. So again, it shows me by calendar how everything, when each video is ready to go out. So many potential possibilities with it. Let me just show you one last thing. So I've shown you the database, I've shown you the company wiki, I've shown you the workflow. You can also use it to create pages for your clients, for example. You can create your own website through it as well, and then link your domain to your page that you have created. So this is the membership page for my members. Again, these are quick reference links, which were very easy to do. Again, it's just like a notice board. It allows people to go in and see what's going on when are the sessions being held, what's the curriculum, what can they expect. These are all the upcoming sessions. So again, this feeds off the same database that I had on my dashboard to show me the upcoming events. Again, so these are the people know, okay, these are the next sessions that are coming up in the rest of the year. If you want to add the sessions to your calendar, one click and you can do that from here. Again, this is the same database. So again, this doesn't take any extra work apart from adding a calendar view. So as you can see, it says all sessions database. It's the same all sessions database. Here it's a gallery view, right? I can do it as a table view if I wanted to, or I can do it as a calendar view as well. And you can see here, so literally with one click, I can create a calendar view and it will show me it all by date. So again, it's coming here, which is what I had added down below. So I'm just going to remove that and take it back to the gallery view. My reading list. So I have a database of all my books, and what I've done here is filter it out so you can see all my recommendations based on, so where a category contains marketing. So each book, so you can see the properties I've set up here. So each book that I enter in the database would have an author, a category, a cover, so you can see the picture on it, a rating, and a status. That allows me to then quickly put together views based on, these are all the marketing books, these are all the pricing and sales books, people, leadership, and strategy, all my software and subscriptions that I use. Again, it's just one database. And you can do that very quickly. In fact, my son helped me to put this together because I showed him how to do it, and then he just cracked on, gave him a list, and he went and did it. Okay, we've gone past the hour, so I will stop because I don't want it to be overwhelming. I just want you to kind of get started with the company wiki, so your hub. start to write up your processes within it, start to make it look pretty. Maybe, create your own task database as well, and use that to capture, all your tasks, to start to delegate out, to start to monitor your projects. And then once you start using it and liking it and wanting to know more about it, you can then go on YouTube, or, if you're within the community, I'm happy to do additional bonus sessions and cover off in our either brunch and learn or bonus sessions for the mentoring if there is demand. I'm happy to put additional sessions on for the members. Okay. So for the rest of the time, I think I will just answer questions because I appreciate it's a lot to take in. Right. Where did I get to with the questions? I think I answered Keith's question. Yes, I answered Azam's question. Facebook user, apart from accounting purposes, using Excel for admin work. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, for task management, project management, it is great. Oh, sorry, Keith, you meant personal pro, or team. You can use the free version, right? And I'd recommend you just start off with the free version. You don't need the team version, and unless you want your team to automatically access every page that you create. An easy workaround is just to invite them as guests. So that's what I did initially. I have the team version now, so I'm paying for each because I have quite a lot going on, so they have access to everything straight away. But if you just have this one dashboard, so to create this, okay, and to create everything within it, even all the pages and all the databases, you don't need a pro account. You can do it off a free account, and all you do is you go to the share and you invite people as guests. So as you can see, some people have been invited as guests here, and that's all you do. You just add people, add as guests. I think they may have introduced a limit to the number of guests on a free plan, but certainly I think up to 5 people for sure, last time I checked, was okay. So do that initially, free account, and add your team as guests. How do individual team members use Notion for themselves? They use it as a hub, but also I'm now helping them to use it for their own personal task management as well, where there's a lot of crossover, where, say, for example, because at the moment, the practice management solution we have, not great at task management. So we're doing that kind of through Notion for those people that don't already have a good enough system to manage all the things that they need to do. Can teams create and share their weekly to-do list? Absolutely. Yeah, you basically have one database, and then you can then filter out what you want to see. So you can actually filter out. You can filter and say, I want to see everything that's on there from everybody, or I just want to see my own stuff. So very customizable. Hey, Dave, good to see you here. Thank you for that, Dave. I'm glad you approve, because I know you're a Notion user as well. So I'm honored that you have made that comment. Yes, you're right. Literally limited by your own creativity, so much potential. And add-on integrations, yep, no-code API integrations and embedding, absolutely. So APIs have just been released in the last month or so. It's starting to integrate. There is this API link now, limited to certain software, but it will take off, and they will give access to other software. Facebook users asking, how did you import the client database into Notion? CSV file. So very easy to get data from a CSV into Notion. So we already had an export. We exported it out of our practice management solution and into the software. Is that from Adil? Adil, you work with Bahir, don't you? And Bahir's on the mastermind. So Bahir has access to some training that I did for the mastermind group, where I added some videos in. So, and in one of those videos, I actually covered off how to import a CSV into Notion. So ask Bahir to give you access to this, and you'll be able to see how to import your data as a CS file into Notion, like so. So lots of videos here which you can access. Something else, actually, because we're talking about accounting stuff, so what else do I use it for accounting stuff wise? I've created a tax return planner, and if you're on the the mastermind group, then you will have seen this because I've shown you how you can do it yourself. So what this does is just a nice little way of us forecasting the work we are going to be doing and keeping a track of the tax returns that we have to do, set ourselves targets, and plan out the work ahead. So although practice management is great at workflow, showing you what stage of the job each tax return is at, it's not great for forward planning. So we've created our own database in here, which again, this is using the timeline feature. So what we can do is as soon as something comes in, we can find the client and literally one click say, right, tax information received, where that's going to be scheduled in for there, and there in that week. And automatically what it does, it populates it up into the tax return to do this month. And again, helps to manage the forecasting capacity planning of what we're going to get done, keeps us on track to monitor it, and again, gives us these beautiful dashboards of tracking it. So let me just undo 3 times, I think. Otherwise, my tax manager will get a bit upset messing around with his table. Okay, let's go back to that page. What are the questions? Is the client database from your CRM? Yes, it is. Ellie, I mean, this is awesome. Thank you, Ellie. Is there kind of an audit trail archive backup? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Do not worry. You can basically go into page history and you can see everything that has gone on in that page and you can restore version. Very handy feature. If you're not quite comfortable with it or someone in your team breaks something, you can just go back and restore version, which is great. Although just check that that is available on the free plans. I think it may be, should be. Is this session recorded? I'm not sure who that's from. Oh, John. Yes, it is, John. It's recorded. It will be on the Facebook group and the YouTube, my YouTube channel. So just subscribe to that. Get your team on there, onto my YouTube channel. It will be there forever. How do you keep your plastic management and Notion in sync? Good question. Who's that question from? Marianne. Yeah, good question. See, I'm ideally, you don't want to be having 2 systems. You want to have one source of truth. So I would recommend if you've got a practice management solution that's working already, keep it where it is. Okay. I am just experimenting with Notion. I'm kind of, building it out, seeing if I can build my own bespoke practice management solution, which who knows, may be marketable and sellable one day if it works. But I'm just playing around and testing it. So for us, it's no big deal kind of keeping 2 systems up to date. I wouldn't recommend it because you don't want to be putting data in 2 places. For us, it's, we did it once and, we don't have that many changes going on to it. So it's manageable. It's doable for now. But again, there's no automatic sync between practice management softwares and Notion yet. So yeah, unfortunately, it is a manual process. No, Ian, I don't have to recreate it each year. It sets to roll over annually. Annual software costs for your usage, good value, absolutely good value. Like I said, you can create a free plan. Most of what I do can be done on a free plan, and you invite your team as guests. I've just got so much going on that I just wanted easy access for my team automatically to have access to all my workspaces, and just the way they can view it is a bit different. But otherwise, with the free plan, you can do so much. Everything that I've shown you today, you can do off a free plan. So it's free. It's definitely worth it. It's great value. Right. I think I've covered all the questions. Excellent. Okay. So I hope that was useful. Let me know if it was in the comments. I'd love to if you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Same thing, give it a like in Facebook if it was useful. If you're watching this on replay, #replay, feel free to ask any questions in the comments if you're watching this after it's been recorded, and I would be happy to answer them. I'd love to know after watching this, what one thing are you going to do? Are you going to, if you're already using Notion, what potentially have you seen today that you're going to go away and implement an action? If you're not already using Notion, what do you think you'll go away and do after today? If there's anything that you want me to show you right now in the next couple of minutes, let me know. I'll be happy to just put a comment in and yeah, I can stick around for a couple of minutes to show you if you'd like. Otherwise, I hope it's been useful and you take some action and start to use it, because if nothing else, even if it's just as your company wiki, I think that was our big, that was where we first started, just kind of building it out for that. And that's been a game changer in itself, just having kind of, a 2-layer approach. Remember that 2-layer approach. You don't want people to have to click through more than twice to access what they need. And Notion allows you to do that because it can display things so much better than a folder structure through Google Drive or a Windows folder structure. Good. Okay. I'm glad it was useful. Okay. Well, I think we'll pen off then, and yeah, hope you got something valuable out of that. And I look forward, if you're on the program, I look forward to seeing you in our next session in a couple of weeks' time from the Mastermind. I'll see you in a couple of weeks at the end of the month for our group call. If you're not on the program, the mentoring program, and you like what you saw today and you would like to spend a bit more time together, then message me. We can see how to get you involved. Otherwise, have a great day. Enjoy the weather, and I shall catch up with you very soon. Take care. Speak to you soon.